Why do you think DS is the natural dynamic? What are the facts behind this opinion? Why do you think DS is the natural dynamic, and what are the facts behind this opinion? What are the facts behind this opinion? That's my favorite part. Okay, and I'm not dissing the fact that you want facts. I want facts. Okay. I am. Okay, so here's the thing. Why do I think DS is the natural dynamic? And what facts would you like? Essentially, you are telling me to go up to an apple tree, see that it's an apple tree, and then give you facts as to why I believe it's an apple tree. It's a fucking apple tree. That's why I believe it's an apple tree. Okay? My point is, it's self-evident. The fact that it has apples hanging out. Okay, hello. It is the most functional and, yes, natural in terms of the fact that everyone is either naturally dominant, naturally submissive, or naturally a switch. Case in point. Do you have bosses and do you have people that work for the boss? Do you have leaders of companies and their employees? We have leaders, we have followers, we have teachers, we have students, we have mentors, we have people who are mentored. Okay? Get two subs together and watch how well that goes. And fellow daydreamer is leading into my next point so beautifully, which is one of the reasons why DS is the most ideal and naturally functional relational dynamic is, just like fellow daydreamer is saying, if you have two submissive partners together, the relationship will often breed a lot of complacency. There will be a lot of stagnation in areas of that relationship because both partners are essentially waiting on the other one to take the initiative for forward growth or movement in any of these areas. Versus if you have two dominant partners in a relationship together, then they will often be butting heads and not be very united in the vision going forward because they're both trying to adhere to their own agenda. Again, that's why humility is so very, very important as a top or as a bottom. So that's what fellow daydreamer is saying. The most naturally functional dynamic is a leader and a follower. Someone that says, here's where we're going to go. And someone says, yes, I want to follow you. That is like the friend who always knows what they want to do. Exactly. You've probably experienced this in your friend circles too. There's the friend that's just like, hey, I'm down for anything. And the friend that shows up with an itinerary and hand sanitizer and extra snacks and waters in their purse. Okay? You have the friend that's fiscally responsible, that's always picking up the tab for the other friends. And you might have the friend that's, I don't really care and whatever. And, again, we have a more submissive, laid back mentality. We have a more dominant and a flashlight with them too. Exactly. I had a friendship like that. It worked out great. Exactly. That's my point. The facts to support my belief that DS is the most naturally functional relational dynamic is self-evident. Look at relationship. You might really be a switch after all. And think about it. And this also applies to switches. And thank you, John, for bringing us into this. This natural observation, this natural personality structure very much includes switches too. Why do you think femdom is such a thing? We have oftentimes, and this is not always the case, but we have oftentimes men who are high performers at work. Most of my male clients, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, when I was a professional femdom, were much older than me, much high earners than me, a lot of influence, a lot of power, and they were so exhausted with the weight and responsibility. They wanted to give all that power and authority up to me for a while. That's all the time. You can't tell me that's anything but a switch. It's self-evident. Why I believe DS is the most naturally functional relationship structure is the fact that everyone is either dominant and submissive or switch is self-evident. The principle that DS naturally exists in every relationship, whether or not you want to admit it, is true. It's self-evident. The only difference between vanilla and kink is those of us in the lifestyle have acknowledged what we are. We've acknowledged I'm dominant, I'm submissive, I'm a switch. We have acknowledged what our partner is, dominant, submissive, or switch. And we are now operating very obviously in those roles. We have brought those roles to the surface. We have infused that energy into our personalities and now into our relationship.